Hi friends, I'm Yamini Sharma and I welcome you back to my channel The Saffron Box. Today in this video I'm going to be talking about the month of February 2022. How does this month look in terms of planetary transits, and how does this entire planetary scene, planetary transits affect all of us? So do keep your ascendant, your rising sign in mind, and I'll talk about all the 12 signs from Aries till Pisces. As usual, I'll be putting up timestamps in the comment section as well as in the description section of this video. So do not forget to check out the timestamp so that you can listen to whichever sign you want to. So going ahead, one more thing, if you haven't subscribed till now, do subscribe, do hit the like button in case you like the video, and share it with your family and friends as well. So let's look at the month of February 2022. How does this zodiac look like? So this month we already have an ongoing conjunction of Sun and Saturn. Sun has entered the Saturnian sign of Capricorn on Makar Sankranti on 14th of January. And with this, Saturn already being there, the Sun and Saturn conjunction takes place. Now, Sun and Saturn are father and son, they're opposing energies as we know. So, what happens? Wherever they sit, there's a tussle. There's a sense of disagreement or sense of dissatisfaction here, because these are extremely opposite energies. They are in Vedic astrology, they are taken as the most bitter of enemies. So some kind of a conflict or dissatisfaction is always to be seen wherever they come together. Saturn is also going to be combust for most part of the month. So for almost 3 weeks of this month, Saturn is going to be in a combust state as well. So there is going to be a little bit of challenge wherever the sign of Capricorn falls in your chart. To add to that, we also have Mercury. So Mercury is also going to be conjunct together with Sun and Saturn in the sign of Capricorn. And though it's retrograde, it becomes direct, but again, the conjunction stays. And then another important thing is we have Mars and Venus conjunct, very, very closely conjunct in the sign of Sagittarius. So while for Mars, this is a comfortable position, for Venus is in an inimical sign. So here, Mars and Venus energies, which are again opposing energies, colliding, getting conjunct together, is again a kind of a challenge. So it's like, Mars is fire and Venus is a watery planet. So when fire and water come together, so there's a lot of steam, there's a lot of energy, and a lot of I would say bubbling energy which comes up. So that is another challenge area this particular month, till the time Mars and Venus move out of the sign of Sagittarius, which is going to be happening by the end of the month. Then we have Jupiter. Jupiter also sees combustion for some time, but Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius. I've already made a video on the effect of Jupiter being in the sign of Aquarius. You can go check that out. Rahu and Ketu are as usual in the Taurus and Scorpio signs. Very soon they are going to be changing signs over to Aries and Libra, and I'll be making a video on that very, very soon. So keep checking that out. Then let's go ahead and see what this particular transit or what this situation has in store for us for all these signs. So beginning with Aries. When we look at Aries, see your 10th house has this energy of Sun, Saturn and Mercury coming together. The 9th house sees Mars and Venus energy combined. So what does this say? It says that there's going to be a lot of drive, a lot of energy which you're going to infuse in matters of education, of sharpening your skills, working towards upgrading your skills, etc. Some of you who are looking at moving abroad might also make efforts during this duration, or there should be some work in progress for you, while you're trying to go abroad, for educational purposes as well. So things shall ease out by the end of the month if you're qualifying this particular criteria. Then primarily this month makes you put a lot of energy at your workplace. while you put in so much of energy in the workplace, you also see some kind of conflicts, agreements, disagreements, blow hot, blow cold kind of a situation at workplace. There could be chances where you get into a tussle with your seniors. For some of you, there might be a change of boss. So there could be some situation which brings in some change, with regard to your reporting line. So your bosses move out or you see a new boss. Some kind of a change is definitely indicated over there. For some, it could be a change of job or a change of profile. So some major changes at workplace are definitely indicated in this month of February 2022. One important thing which you need to keep in mind is your communication. So try to be diplomatic. Though this conjunction really takes you away from any kind of diplomacy or putting your points very very sweetly or politely, but one thing which is very very important for you this entire month is to maintain diplomacy, or put your things up, put your points across, but put them in a very palatable manner, so that no disagreements or conflicts arise. So that is something which you should definitely do. This month, regarding relationships also, you need to be a little patient. Again, communication is the key. So there could be chances where you end up in a tussle with your spouse because of communication issues. So that is something which you need to keep in mind. Utilize your creative energy. This month you could see that you're able to bring out your creative self, bring out some kind of a creative solutions to your problems. This I'm talking about the second half. So second half could actually bring in some better solutions to whatever issues you have in hand. So as the month progresses, as Sun moves into the 11th house of Aquarius, gets conjunct with Jupiter, solutions start coming your way. Tensions could actually ease out a little. But again, as I said, Jupiter is also going to be combust for some time. So this month will take away a lot of your time in all these tussles and resolving conflicts at workplace, etc. So make sure that you maintain your peace of mind while dealing with all these issues. Then I move on to the next sign of Taurus. So for Taurus, you see, we have the Lagnesh Venus in the 8th house, closely conjunct with Mars. Mars again puts in a lot of pressure or a challenging kind of a situation here. So Mars and Venus conjunct in the 8th house. First of all, take care of your health. Take very good care of your health. In case you are suffering from any sort of a hormonal problem, or you have diabetes related issues, you need to be extra cautious. So take medical help, get your checkups done on time, make sure that you are eating properly. That is again something which you'll have to regulate or keep your check on throughout the month. So health has to be seen. There could be, for people who are running a business where they're dealing with cash on a daily basis. So there could be issues there. You could be, you could find yourself in some kind of a challenging situation over there. In case you are in a partnership, this challenge or this situation could become even worse. So make sure that your daily business dealings are clean, you're keeping your accounts clean, you're keeping your dealings very neat and clean. That is something which will hold you in good stead, take you away from problems. Daily struggles with related to daily businesses, etc., is on the cards definitely. So you'll have to keep things in check regularly. That is something which I highly advise. Also, there could be some kind of adverse situation you end up dealing with regard to relationships. So it could be, people whom you've recently met, your business connections, your network circles. There could be some adverse situation. So make sure that your communication is in order. You are not sharing more than what is necessary with new people. And that is something which should actually keep you out of any kind of a trouble or any kind of unwanted situation also as the month goes by. So this month I see that with the transit of Sun into the 10th house. Sun and Jupiter come along together. They could be a slow build up towards gains from different sources. So, whatever you have been putting in till now, this month could actually start showing you some kind of results, some kind of positivity with all these months of hard work. So, slow gains creep in, some new business ideas creep in, and you're able to put them onto paper, you put them onto work as such. Right, so the second half could also make you take up some long journeys regarding work. So a lot of journeys also, I would say, are on the cards for you. Then I move on to the next sign of Gemini. So for Gemini, you see, we have major planetary conjunctions in the 8th house. We have Sun, Saturn, and Mercury. Mercury is also your ascendant lord. So these three planets are together in the 8th house at the beginning of the month, and slowly Sun moves out by the middle of the month into the next house of Aquarius for you. So here I would say the beginning of the month, you need to be really careful regarding your health. In case you have any chronic ailments, any long-standing problems, be very, very careful there. And this month you should actually be very careful while driving, etc. as well. So sudden problems, sudden problems could happen. So drive within the prescribed limits, do not overspeed, etc. So stay within the laws of the land, I would say. So this will keep you away from any kind of a government fine, any kind of tickets. Traffic rules have to be followed. So stay away from any situation where you actually break the law of the land or you kind of twist things. So stay within the limited framework as such. Money matters could become a concern area. You could deal with a lot of money matters from your in-laws side, from your, regarding your spouse's money. There could be major decisions which you need to take. So a lot of focus will go on money matters. Some of you will deal with inheritance related money matters as well. In case you are undergoing any kind of a issue, any kind of a legal conflict with regard to property, inheritance issues, this month could produce some results which could not be, which may not be very, very satisfactory. So be prepared, brace up to deal with these kind of issues also throughout this month. Right? So as Sun moves into the 9th house with Jupiter, it gets conjunct over there in the 9th house. Things could ease out a little bit. Some kind of relief could come from the system as such. So authorities tend to favor you, or you're able to get some proper legal help, etc. So this is specifically for people who are dealing with any kind of issues as such. Regarding inheritance, regarding properties, or you are in some kind of a legal matter you're involved, right? Marriage wise, I would say, a lot of people could actually come across alliances. If you're in that matchmaking phase, you could see that people are approaching you, etc. But I suggest you put it off for some time. Wait out for some time before you take any decision regarding marriages or matchmaking, etc. Then there could also be chances where in case you're married already, you get to travel out, or your spouse gets to travel out, or there could be issues where, or instances where you're not able to spend enough time with your spouse. So some kind of a separation at a physical level, or travel takes you away, geographical separation could happen with married people also. Then I move on to the next sign of Cancer. See, for Cancer, this entire month, the focus, or I would say the challenge area would be relationships. So this entire month, we have, especially in the first half of the month, we have Sun, Saturn, and Mercury, three planets in the 7th house. Saturn and Mercury will continue to aspect the Lagna even after Sun moves out towards the 8th house. So lot of focus on marriage, on relationships, new partnerships, How are those partnerships actually working out? So all these things take up a lot of your time and energy. Make sure that if you're getting into a new kind of a relationship, you're meeting new people, or a new partnership with regard to work, you are able to scrutinize everything, do your checks before getting into some kind of an alliance, whether it is a marriage alliance, whether it is a business alliance, any kind of a collaboration, partnership. So keep your checks and balances in place. That is very, very important for you. Then this month could also see your home environment, your domestic environment, in a little disturbed state. uh, Venus and Mars are getting conjunct, that too in the sixth house. So there are chances where, regarding your home, some matters crop up which you have to deal with. There could be some taxes or fine related issues which you might have to deal with. So this month, a lot of your time and energy is going to be sucked up by relationships, by home management, domestic issues. Some of you might be looking at renovating your house, or you're constructing your house maybe of your own. So you could meet some roadblocks while doing so. So you have to keep your patience up this entire month and see that everything is as per how you're supposed to do. So be within the limits, do whatever is supposed to be done from your side, and be a little patient, because things are going to take a little longer than usual, right? So those who are employed, you're working in any large organization, also need to be assured that you're maintaining good relationships with your subordinates. So keep your work environment also great. Again, work environment means your relationships with your subordinates, with your peers, etc. So relationships, as I said in the beginning, is going to be the key. Relationship management is going to be the key for all the Cancer people this entire month. Then I move on to the next sign of Leo. See, for Leo, this is again an important month, because the Lagnesh, Sun. Now, Sun moves every month, right? Sun moves from one Rashi to the other, one sign to the other, after every 30 days. But this time around in the month of Feb, Sun is already conjunct with Saturn, and thereafter again in the month of Feb, Sun moves on to the next Saturnian sign of Aquarius only. Sun and Saturn are getting conjunct in the sixth house. Now, what does this conjunction say? Sixth house is the house of opposition, enemies, diseases. All the Shadripus are seen from the sixth house. So Sun and Saturn conjunct over here could bring in difficult situations regarding all these things. So if you're already dealing with any health issue, this could actually bring in, something worse. This could bring in issues where you actually need to focus more on your health. If you're dealing with some kind of a conflict, this could be a challenging month for you. So legally as well as medically, you need to be really, really careful this entire month, right? So take care of your health, and any kind of a legal issue is also going to take up your time, take up your energy and your focus as such the entire month, right? So avoid any kind of conflicts on your own, lie low and wait till the Lagnesh is in a better situation, is in a better condition, that is by the second half of the month. So while this Sun and Saturn conjunction is here, there could be issues related to property matters could come up, relationship matters. Those of you who are undergoing any divorce proceedings, etc., could also see some major traction happening over here. So this time is to actually do your bit and kind of be a little patient and let nature take its own course. Health wise, those of you who have any problems related to bones or digestion issues have to be extra careful, right? As regards this Mars and Venus conjunction is concerned in the fifth house, there could be issues where there could be instances where you actually focus a lot on your creative skills. You feel like developing your creative skills, creative energy hits a new high. You're able to focus more on your children, on their education, or in case you are undergoing your education, you are pursuing higher education, you get to focus a lot on your education as well. This is a good time, especially with Mars being here. Mars is the lord of your fortune, of your ninth house. While the Mars, while Mars is here, giving its energy to the fifth house, use this energy, use this time to enhance your creativity, focus more on your children, on their matters as such, right? Then I move on to the next sign of Virgo. See, for Virgo, if we see this month, we have the Lagnesh Mercury being conjunct with Sun and Saturn in the fifth house. What does this say? It brings in a lot of focus on fifth house matters. This is especially for those people who are actually engaged in creative work, those of you who are expecting children, those of you who have careers in education, etc. So there could be a lot of activity which you see over here. There could be also some roadblocks which you meet over here. So especially in case you are looking at childbirth, you're looking at conception, etc. This is a time when you should be extra careful. Take medical care, follow the medical advice properly to the T to make sure that everything happens smoothly, right? So also a good time for those pursuing any kind of a creative interest. So here, while the first half of the month is a little challenging, second half gets a little better with the Saturn and Mercury energy coming together over here, and you're able to put in your ideas into your daily work. So that is something which I suggest that you utilize. The domestic environment, the environment at home could be a little challenging. Finances could get discussed. There could be family money which is often discussed. So make sure that you maintain transparency regarding finances, regarding money within the family, right? Within your spouse, within your close family, the first family, you have enough transparency, because here a lot of issues is what I see with the Mars and Venus energy over here. Lot of conflicts or arguments related to money could be here. So it calls for action to be better managed, right? Then some of you might also deal up with any kind of a landed property. So it could be a property which you have inherited. It could be a property which is under some kind of a legal thing. So here, a lot of your energy could also go in handling some land or property issues. So this month is a good time to actually focus on all these issues as well. Then I move on to the next sign of Libra. So for Libra, you see, we have the Lagnesh Venus being conjunct with Mars in the third house. Mars and Venus, as I mentioned at the beginning, is again, a set of opposing energies in the third house. Then we also have Sun, Saturn and Mercury for the first half of the month conjunct in the fourth house. What does this say? It talks about a lot of restlessness. So in your mind, heart and soul, you find yourself being very, very restless. Maybe you are looking for a sense of direction. Where are you headed? Some of you would be looking at some major decisions coming your way. So by the second half of the month, you see yourselves in a better situation as the opposing energies ease out, as Sun moves out, joins Jupiter in the fifth house. So here you could see some clarity coming in. Some of you would be actually firming up their mind regarding their career changes. So either you're looking at a change in your jobs, or you're looking at change of residence. So some major changes are definitely indicated for the Libra ascendant, and this will happen slowly and gradually. The first half of the month will actually bring in a lot of restlessness. Some of you would like to take up some journeys also, but I'm really not sure whether these journeys are going to bring up any fruitful results. So it could be regarding your business, it could be regarding any kind of a work or initiative which you're taking. But these journeys or some efforts might just bring in some frustration, may not be very, very fruitful. So wait out for the second half of the month when you actually decide what to do, how to plan up ahead. So gradually, as the month passes, you get more clarity and you're able to envision as to what you're going to do in the future. A lot of people will have these questions, to how is my future? What am I going to do? Am I going to stick to this job or not? Am I going to stick to this business or not? So these kind of questions will keep popping up in your head. And as the month passes by, you come across solutions, right? So for a lot of you, the second half of the month would actually look at fulfilling your desires, fulfilling your long standing desires as well. So hold on, this is a month of patience while dealing with a lot of restlessness. I mean, it's easier said than done, but that is something which I see. Then I move on to the next sign of Scorpio. So for Scorpio, you see, we have the Lagnesh Mars in conjunction with Venus in the second house of family, of finances, money, your accumulated assets, etc. And then we have this tough conjunction of Sun, Saturn, and Mercury in the third house. Sun will move out gradually. By the second half of the month, Sun will be in the fourth house, which will bring in some relief to you. It will get conjunct with Jupiter. So here I would say a lot of focus will be on family issues, on money issues initially. Venus being there, Venus is a karka of wealth. So you would like to see how you're investing. You would like to see how you're, dealing with the Lakshmi in the house, dealing with the wealth in the house. And this will take up a lot of discussions and planning along with your family members. So it's important that you take everybody along, take your spouse along, take your close family along in your plans. Then you also take up a lot of initiatives, with all these malefics together in the third house, Sun, Saturn, etc. This is a time to actually build up your strength. They will actually give you a lot of push, or they'll break your inertia towards taking action. So you could get a lot of push and be inspired to take up more initiatives. But the direction has to be defined. So this is a time, the first half of the month especially, you should focus on what you're going to do, plan up. Third house is of planning, is of your subconscious mind. So try to train your brain towards how you're going to plan your future, what you're going to do. And as the second half comes, you're able to take decisions in a better manner. So you gradually put your tasks into action, put your plans into action. So this is a good time to plan well, to discuss your ideas, air out your ideas with others. But again, one more thing, while discussing or while putting forth your ideas, you have to make sure that your communication is good. You're able to communicate your ideas in a better way where people understand them. This month is also a time where you could face some challenging situations with regard to your siblings or neighbors, etc. So people whom you deal with in your neighborhood on a daily basis. So avoid any kind of unnecessary arguments or fights. Petty matters need to be ignored actually, right? You could also deal with a lot of issues with the support of your spouse. So keeping your spouse happy is again a very important thing to do this entire month. Then I move on to the next sign of Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, you see, we have the conjunction of Mars and Venus in the ascendant, in the first house. And then your second house sees the play of Sun, Saturn, and Mercury together. The third house sees your Lagnesh, that is Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is not very comfortable in the third house. This is not a very happy place for Jupiter to be in. And the Lagnesh, the Lagna, also has Mars and Venus. While Mars is a good planet for you, Venus isn't. So there's a set of opposing energies which you see in the first house over here. So beginning of the month, I would say focus on your health. Especially ladies, they need to focus on any kind of a health related issues they have. Hormonally, if you are disturbed, there is some issue which you are dealing with, you need to be under medical advice, under medical supervision. Do not ignore small issues. And Otherwise, if you're dealing with any kind of a chronic issue, like diabetes or anything else, I mean, for anyone, any kind of a hormonal issue especially, you need to be very careful. Very careful with regard to your food intake also. So your exercise, your food intake, your daily routine has to be in order. That is very important for the Sagittarius ascendant. And a lot of focus will actually be there on money issues. So some of you will actually look at ways to enhance their money, accumulate more assets, deal with money matters. So this is a time to sort out a lot of money issues. So anything which is spending, which requires your attention and which you have been brushing away, procrastinating, this is a time to deal with. A lot of you will actually deal with finance matters with your father or father-like figure. So there could be family issues which require discussion, which require action, which you have to do, which you have to undertake in consultation with your father. Now there could be consultations, there could be disagreements over here, which you'll have to deal with. Communication has to be proper within the family, and be prepared to brace up with a lot of disagreements. So you could come across some ugly discussions, some ugly matters which are coming up, not so pleasant. And all these issues could revolve around family and finances. So be prepared for that. Otherwise, for those of you who are employed, who have their own venture, even if you're self-employed, this is a time to actually brace up, be ready for competition, be ready for new initiatives. So you would actually feel energized to take up more things on your way, get ready for more action and plan ahead for the future. As Sun moves into the third house, aspects its own house, a lot of action, lot of things could actually start unfolding for you. So this is a time to actually plan ahead, make your vision clear and start working towards it. But the first half might be a little challenging in terms of financial matters. Then I move on to the next sign of Capricorn. So for Capricorn, you see in the first house itself, we have Sun, Saturn and Mercury. Saturn is the Lagnesh, Sun is the 8th lord, the lord which is in charge of the troubles which come to you. The lord of 8th house is actually in charge of all the troubles, all the, it's a lot of a dostana. So not a very good placement. Then we have Mercury also. Mercury is also the 6th lord. So actually, if you ask me, the Lagna is, the ascendant is kind of jam-packed with lot of opposing energies. So this could actually bring in a lot of confusion, a lot of input, a lot of inflow of information, a lot of things coming your way. But you need to be very careful as to what you filter out and what you finally absorb. Very, very important for the Capricorn ascendant. Mars and Venus are also in the 12th house. Lot of impulsiveness could land you in trouble. So this month you have to see what all is happening, be an observer, look at all things happening around you, try to assimilate everything very, very slowly, filter in whatever is useful and filter out the unnecessary. So there will be overload of information, overload of things coming your way, which you have to tackle properly. A lot of pending matters will also come up to the front, something which you had been avoiding dealing with, which you had been procrastinating. So a lot of old issues, pending issues, as I said, Sun is in the ascendant. So pending issues, old problems, which you never thought as problems, could also come in. So you have to deal with everything with a lot of mental tenacity, with a lot of grit this entire month. Avoid any kind of unnecessary expenditure. You have to keep your purse strings tight. Do not, spend impulsively. That is very, very important, because Mars and Venus together in the 12th would actually bring in this impulse. You like something, you're not able to filter in that thought whether you really want it or not, and you just end up swiping your card, end up paying up for something which you really don't want actually. So these kind of things have to be avoided. Gradually things ease out with the entry of Sun in the second house when it gets conjunct with Jupiter. But this is something which you have to keep dealing with. Also, as regards relationships, etc., you also have to be very, very careful. Again, a lot of information comes your way, so make sure that you do not act on false information. That is something which is very important. Then I move on to the next sign of Aquarius. Aquarius has the Lagnesh Saturn in the 12th house along with Sun and Mercury. We have Mars and Venus in the 11th house. This month makes you feel very, very ambitious about whatever you want. So a lot of ambition, a lot of desires you deal with, and you feel a little impatient about when will things happen, when will your desires get fulfilled, when will I get something, how soon, how quickly, how can I make this fast. So these kind of thoughts can creep in, but you have to see how things play out. With the conjunction of three planets in the 12th house, there could also be some kind of an obstacles which you keep dealing with. Hidden troubles or hidden problems come up at the wrong time, at the nth hour. But you got to deal with them gradually, and things get sorted out gradually as the month passes. A lot of you will look at educational pursuits outside the country, or even if not outside the country, away from your birthplace. So expenditure on education, expenditure on children, etc. is indicated. So make sure that you are budgeting properly for a lot of things. There could be disturbances in your budgets or disturbances in your savings this month, which I see. Also a lot of disturbance in sleep patterns, so you might be traveling or you might be overthinking sometimes, which leads to loss of sleep or sleep disturbances. So make sure that your daily routine is kind of in order so that you're able to maintain your health properly. Then I move on to the last sign of Pisces. So for Pisces, you see we have three planets in the 11th house. For Pisces, I would say this is the best till now. You have a lot of planets in your 11th house, which is actually the house of wish fulfillment, of Ichha Purti, etc. And then you have Jupiter in the 12th house. You have Mars and Venus conjunct in the 10th house. Lot of new ideas, new projects, new thinking keeps cropping up. So you are looking at a lot of new ideas. Make sure that you filter out what you need to actually focus on and what you need to filter out, right? So keep the filter on in your mind as to where you're directing your energies. Not being impulsive at work is very, very important. Do not get into any kind of a hasty decisions. Don't make hasty decisions first of all. And this month will make you make you pay a lot of focus on your children, on your creative pursuits, etc. So utilize this month very well. A lot of opportunities might also come up. You might meet a lot of people who could actually add in value to your life as time goes by. So deal with all this properly in a planned manner, but also take care of your health. So if in case you have any kind of a digestion problem, digestion issues, acidity issues, etc., you need to be very, very careful here. Some of you might also face issues regarding your teeth. So you have to be careful with regard to your health issues this entire month. Otherwise, this is a month to focus a lot on what you want to do, creatively engage at various places, put your ideas together towards the future, right? So a good month for Pisces ascendant as such. So that was all about the 12 signs. I'll see you very soon in my next video. Till then, goodbye, take care.